Hello class, this is week 8 discussion question 1. Um, why does Descartes feel the need to discover indubitable truth or unquestionable truth? It took a while for me to read these two meditations to try to understand what he was trying to get at. And what I ultimately landed on was um, realizing that Rene is a philosopher, a scientist, and a mathematician. I think that plays heavily into his reasoning as he goes through his meditations. At the end of the day, the answer to why he feels the need to discover truth is in the very beginning of the first meditation. He recognizes that he's in error. His perceptions aren't 100%. I can imagine him in the science lab making these discoveries, or in the math class adding numbers and subtracting and whatever calculations and formulas he's dealing with. He sees a path, a beauty in the simplicity of finding the answers and discovering truths through science and math. And then he turns his perception or his way of thinking to philosophy and to truth. And then he starts to deconstruct the way he would a math problem or a science experiment. And that's kind of what or at least that's what I saw him doing in these two meditations, is him understanding that he doesn't have a full grip of reality, and to start to take apart what reality is to him through his faculties, through his ability, his five senses, is one of the major meditations he kind of wraps himself around. And he travels on that logic for a while. He stops at areas about God, and not very much, but long enough to kind of give us an idea that he has a belief in God. I don't know how deep or well his understanding is of God, but he stays there just a brief moment, and then he comes back to logic and science and math that he knows best. And he finally realizes that the world around him doesn't define truth. It doesn't define reality. It's his mind, his intellect, how he consumes information that's brought into him. It is ultimately how he creates an identity for himself. Is he lands on intellect. At the very end of meditation 2, he understands it's only because he thinks. He's a thinking thing. That is the only truth that allows him to discover everything else. Without that, there is no reality. And that's how I assessed the first two meditations. Thanks for your time.